is a journey into a world that loves knows no limits, where swinging fun meets love, hearts entwined in their vivid exhibit. Hello, we are the Polyquad Life Podcast, coming to you from our comfy couch in our living room.
Again.
Again, we got the whole gang here today. Joining me are my usual quad partners. I got Nicole,
Hello.
I got Marie,
Hi.
and I got Ray,
Hello.
and myself, Charlie.
Whoop, whoop.
So we decided we're going to do a little Q&A session on this podcast. We've gotten a couple questions over the last couple weeks of the new year from just people that have met us when we've been out at different events or even out at vanilla bars and talking to people.
Mhm.
So, we kind of like been writing them down, saving them, and we're just going to kind of um go through a couple of them and answer them. And
Yep, we've also gotten some from the website.
we got,
People email
yeah,
them to us.
a couple from the
So if you
website.
have questions, email them to us like we say
Yeah.
every time.
So with that, we'll dive in to the first one. And this is an interesting one, I think. And I think it's definitely one that you have to ask yourself when exploring a E&M relationship.
Mhm.
Is what are your biggest goals and your fears? And do those fears out or do your goals, do you benefit outweigh those fears?
Well, I think you can have fears and not let it stop you.
Yeah.
Fears are actually a good thing if you walk in to this type of relationship, an E&M relationship with absolutely no fears, it means you're not being honest with yourself. So, you could be fearful of your body image. You could be fearful of, your partner seeing someone as, a better partner than you are. There's many fears out there. And like I said, if you walk into it without any kind of fears or questions, you're not being honest with yourself.
I couldn't agree, more, Nicole. I think that this is in any situation in life. Fears can be healthy. Fears are healthy as long as you don't allow them to overtake your life, keep you from doing something that you really want to do. And I think that that's very important to remember. I think when you're thinking about your fears, though, when it's related to E&M, exploring the lifestyle, that you need to be completely honest with yourself about what your fears are, and if you have a partner, you need to express those fears, to your partner. We've seen, we know, couples that sometimes it's pretty evident that one of them is in this for the wrong reasons. One of the biggest ones we've seen is because they clearly appear to be in it because it's what their partner wants, and they're just kinda going along, but they're not comfortable. You, in particular, need to be, honest with yourself and honest with your partner about why you're participating or why you don't want to participate.
Yeah.
And also what your level of comfort is with their participation, because like Nicole said, some people are afraid, they're scared, body image. I can personally say that that was a little bit of my fear when I entered lifestyle, even though I honestly was in some of the best shape that I've ever been in my life. But that particularly came hard upon me after I had breast cancer and several reconstructions. And it's still something that I struggle with when we go out is, my fear that I will be rejected because I have scars and I have a breasts that don't match anymore.
They are
Um,
beautiful,
They are
Yeah,
beautiful
they're
breasts.
beautiful.
but we all have not I would say most women at least, and a lot of men have that fear that their body image isn't what someone is looking for that they're attracted to. Just and it doesn't even have to be in the swinging lifestyle or an E&M lifestyle. As a society, we're told that, we have to be paper thin, tall, big breasted. things like that to actually be attractive to people. And I'm here to say that no one in this room or anyone that I know is that type of body. If you are, most of the time you look sickly. I mean, Ray is a tall glass of water, but
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think I've ever had an actual conversation with anyone that is being honest, that doesn't find something wrong, male or female, doesn't find something wrong with themselves.
right.
It's everyone feels that way.
We're our own worst critics. We really are. And I don't care who you are, what country you live in, how old you are. We're our own worst critics. So,
Absolutely. I think one of my biggest fears too going, into it in addition to body image was, um, just concerns that I don't wanna say that I was gonna be forced, but, I had some concerns for my safety. To be honest with you, I'm quite particular, and my particularness doesn't have anything to do with how someone looks, how they dress, in anything like that. I have to be able to personally become comfortable with you. I have to feel comfortable with you, to have any kind of sexual, attraction, or relationship with you. And I just didn't I was concerned about being rushed, into something that perhaps I wasn't ready for that I may regret later on.
Yeah.
right. And it full circle comes back to talking to your partner about what you want, what you don't want. Are you in this lifestyle for yourself? Are you in this lifestyle for your partner? What are your goals basically in the lifestyle? I know one of my goals, it did start out to kind of spice up mine and Ray's sexual life, you know, being older, not, not old, but, getting up to, menopausal age and all that. Ray and I have been together for years upon years. He raised me. I've been with him longer than I was with my parents. So if there's something wrong, it's his fault. He raised me wrong. He
Well, as Ray says, we're all 25 again, but just shipping and handling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some of us have been shipped and handled more than others.
We've been we've
Shits
been
shit
drop
swingers
shipped
say.
Someone's
across.
been
I
drop
I
shipped as in dropped off the side of the ship.
so you
Yeah.
ladies been talking about fears and us guys, yeah, I mean, we have, body image issues as well. Do we stack up against, somebody else and how you rate because everybody, my problem sometimes is I'm a shorter guy. Um,
Great things come in small
that's
packages.
right. Uh, how do I stand up against someone who's a foot taller than me? I've been laughed at about my size. I've been, talked down to because of my size. But, I realize those people who did that, that's on them. That's their own self-confidence issue. That's not on me. And being able to tackle those fears and being in the lifestyle and tackling those fears has really helped me with my own self body image. And I think my biggest goal was coming into an E&M was really being more poly than swinging, but having those relationships and building those relationships with people, like you guys, like all the other friends that we have met and have become really good friends with.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, have we played with them? Yeah, definitely.
Some of them.
Some of them.
There's a lot of 'em that we haven't
Yeah.
played with
There's a
that
lot
we
of
are
them I haven't
great
played with.
friends with.
But it's a sense of community, and that's something I've really enjoyed. That I've taken, as a positive goal out of the lifestyle.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't have to feel like you're putting on a show for people.
No.
And I think the older you get, the more responsibilities that you have, it's harder to find those friendships.
Yeah.
Especially with people that have the same mindset as you. Somebody that you can sit down and talk to and not talk to again for 5 months, but then come right back to, the conversation that you were having before, just like before. And that's a great goal about being in that lifestyle.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest fears I had, at least starting out with it, was like you were saying, having those conversations with your partner about the things that you're wanting to explore. And it's like, how are they going to look at me in that? not even dealing with others, but dealing within your own
Right.
relationships that you have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that actually brings us to another question that we had.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best way to talk about sexual fantasies?
Well, that's a good one. Um,
Well, it really depends on if it's your partner or if it's
yeah.
other play partners.
I mean, I would say Marie and I have talked about sexual, and it's because we've been married for so long now, we can just kind of come out and
Yeah.
say it.
I mean, and usually we are playing or contemplating
Yeah.
playing or have been playing together when they kind of come out.
Yeah.
Um, that
You're a little bit more open then.
Yeah.
And just because you've been together for a really long time doesn't mean it's going to be an easy conversation.
No, it's still not an
Uh,
easy conversation. It can be awkward.
yeah, you think you want to try something and you're
Mhm.
worried that your partner isn't going to understand
yeah,
exactly what
or
you're
be
wanting.
accepting
Yeah, or
or
be
Accepting.
right.
accepting. Yeah.
Like
Like you
they
might
look
be
at you like there's
judged
something
or
wrong.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So I know that I had one sexual fantasy and I don't know what came over me. I was at work and I texted Ray and I was like, I want to do this. And I have no idea what came over me, but that's what happened. And he's like, all right, let's do it. And I've shared that fantasy, that thing with you guys.
Yeah.
And everyone else enjoyed it as well. So I think it really comes down to your comfort level and being able to explain it to the person that you're talking to. Like, this is what I like. This is what I want to do.
Mhm.
If it's not something that you want to do, that's great. And that's one of the great things about the swinging lifestyle is that partner, your primary partner, your poly partner, they may not be into it. You're gonna probably find someone out there that is and that can help you fulfill that fantasy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody has the same fantasies. Not everybody feels comfortable with doing something that you want to do. Somebody out there is. It doesn't mean you have to go, on a search. Hey, I want to do this. Who wants to do it with me? You have that fantasy in the back of your head, and then one day you meet someone, it's like, there it is. I can do that because people have fantasies for a long time without coming out and saying it.
Mhm.
So, and then as far as like going to another couple or another person and talking about fantasies, sometimes liquid courage helps a little
Yeah.
bit.
Liquid
I was
courage
gonna go there.
sometimes does help.
Social
Yeah,
lubricant, yes.
Social
social
lubricant.
Social
lubricant.
lubricant.
But I think you gotta be it comes down to comfortability with
Yeah,
yourself and being able to, uh, approach that subject with someone knowing that you could get rejected. I mean, the worst thing,
absolutely.
and I think that's the big thing about the lifestyle, and it's kinda given me confidence in myself, is the worst thing that someone can say to you is no.
Oh, and that's in everyday life too. Like even your boss,
Yeah.
hey, I want to do this. Is that okay? First thing they can say is no. Hey, I want
Yeah.
this day off. All they can
No.
say is
I
no.
want $1,000,000 raise.
Yeah.
No.
No. Alright.
I mean,
No
well,
yacht in the
Yeah.
Bahamas for me.
So I think it comes down again to your own confidence as well to understand that when you're told no, it may not
Yeah.
be about you.
Yeah.
It may not even be that you're just not their cup of tea, which that's
Which
okay
is
too.
fine.
You need to
mhm,
understand that you might not be one person's cup of tea, but you're gonna be somebody else's cup of tea, and that's perfectly fine, but understand that, especially when it comes to fantasies, kinks, things like that, if a person says, I'm just not into that," doesn't mean they're not into you, just
they're
means
not
they're
into
not
that.
into that.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Like
you
even your
don't need to
partner may
take it
not be into it.
personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to another question. I mean, we're like on a roll with
Yeah,
like
so
rolling into another
this
question.
next question was actually brought up in our friends miss when we were here.
Mhm.
Um, we were all sitting around and we kinda, like, all got into the question how and who approached your partner about being in an open relationship and or being E&M. And everybody had a different story. Sometimes it's the ladies who initiated it, sometimes it's the guys who initiated it.
Mhm.
But everyone that was sitting around here, all were all committed to each other on saying they both were committed 100% in.
And I think that kinda also so I'll share mine and Charlie's story. I was interested in someone else, both, emotionally and sexually, and I didn't want to cheat. Um, but it was, if you wanna call it a fantasy, that I had been having for a while. I was unable to dismiss it, and, I sat Charlie down and had the conversation with him.
And it couldn't have been an easy conversation for you to
No,
bring up
and it
either.
wasn't an easy conversation
No.
for you to accept,
No,
especially
we took some
considering
time to
all of the dynamics of the situation.
yeah, we took time to process it, and we had some really good conversations back and forth about it, and
And we've hit some bumps in the road.
yeah, I mean, and everybody does in the lifestyle kinda deal.
It's
Ev
not even just a
It's
lifestyle thing.
everybody in
It's
life hits
everybody.
bumps in
Everybody
the
in
road.
Yeah.
life. If you
Don't
don't have bumps, then once again, you're not being honest
Well,
with
You're not
yeah.
being
yourself.
honest with yourself, and, I'll always go back to what Ray says is, "There's gonna be arguments, there's gonna be disagreements," and I'm happy for that because it means that we care.
Mhm.
So and yeah, there is no such thing as the picture perfect couple, folks. If you see one, they're hiding something.
They're definitely
They're
hiding
hiding
something.
something or one of them quit caring
Yeah,
and they're just
Right.
there.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're just there.
Yeah.
So, and then Marie, you brought that up to Charlie because you didn't want to cheat. You did have this fantasy. I think that's where a lot of people, and whenever they start cheating, "Hey, I am sexually or emotionally, intellectually attracted to this person. Doesn't mean I'm not attracted to my primary partner,
Exactly.
but I'm also attracted to them." And I
Mhm.
kinda wanna see where it leads, and it doesn't have to lead to a relationship. With cheating, once again, it's not an ethically non-monogamous relationship. It's not ethical.
Yes.
Talk to your partner and say, "Hey, I have this wish, I have this fantasy. How do you feel about it? Do you, could we work around it? Let's talk about it. Doesn't mean I'm gonna have a relationship with them, but I am physically attracted to them and I want to try this." And it doesn't have to be a decision that you make on the fly either. So whenever people cheat, it's usually not a one-time thing. They wind up having a relationship because it's a secret that they keep together, so it bonds them.
Yes, that is very true. And that's not just a personal opinion. I've read a lot on different relationship dynamics and of the sort. And yes, that is one of the reasons why why people feel so intensely attached to a person that they're quote unquote cheating with, having an extramarital or an extra relationship affair, so to speak, is because of that secretness bonding. And there's constant high. Because you're always looking for the next opening to be able to be with this person, also not get caught. And that's actually similar relationship why or similar reason why long distance relationships often work out. It's not necessarily that it's secretive, but that you're not able to be together as frequently. And so that's this constant high. It's like you're on a constant vacation. You've checked out from your real world. Not to you're not, trying to juggle house, finance, kids, work, all that sort of thing. It's just the two of you for whatever time period. And it seems like you're, on cloud nine. But that's not reality, folks. It is
No.
absolutely not reality, and that's one of the things you have to tell yourself, when you're getting involved in an extramarital or an extra relationship, extra outside of your committed relationship. And I can personally tell you from having been on both sides of the coin, it's not just the person that's being cheated on that goes through hell. It is also the person that's doing it. Your life will be turned upside down. And I think that's because I had those experiences in my past, what made me want to go to Charlie and say, "Hey, I don't want to go through this and I don't want you to go through this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our alternatives." And that's where it led us.
Yeah. And look at
As far as Ray and I, we were actually in the middle of a sexual, we were having sex.
Yeah, and
Um,
speaking fantasy,
Mhm.
putting a fantasy in your head, and it's like, well, we've fantasized this about. Why don't we actually just do it and
right.
make it real?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not Charlie, I'm sorry, Ray had said something, and it turned me on, and, we had dabbled in our 20s, like we said before, uh, but it was always just with another woman.
Yeah.
And, Ray brought up the fact of me being with other men as well. And at first I was a little like, I don't know. I don't know if I am allowed to or I should say that I feel this way, but we talked about it and Ray's always been the open mind of everyone around, always. He's always thinking outside the box. So, yeah, that led us to everything.
So basically, back to the question: how do you approach your partner about being an E&M? Be real, be open, be
Yeah.
honest. Don't try to sugarcoat it and make it sound like,
Butterflies and rainbows.
yeah,
Yeah, and if, by chance this is a completely, new topic and same thing as, Nicole and Ray, we fantasized about things like that.
yeah,
While and again, often like while we were being sexually intimate. But, if it's not been any type of topic of conversation between you and your partner in the past,
Take baby steps.
take baby steps and also allow your partner if they, allow your partner time to think and honestly not only allow them but ask them to think because you might get the response back to some of the things that I was saying about people feeling pressured or doing it for the wrong reasons. If you're the one broaching the subject, kind of insist that your partner take some time to really think about things before they give you any kind of answer.
This is not an on the fly decision.
Yeah, it's not.
no,
If you talk to your partner while you're drinking because you have that liquid courage, you're a little bit more open, that's great. And, sometimes things, go from there, but it doesn't always wind up in the best situation.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, you're at the bar one night and the husband looks at the wife or the wife looks at the husband and says, "Hey, I really want to sleep with them. Do you want to have a threesome or, a swap or whatever?" If all parties are okay with it, that's great. You have your fun. But as far as actually getting into the lifestyle, it's something that you definitely have to think about,
yes,
look inside yourself, and talk to your partner, like we've said before, communication is of the utmost importance in this type of atmosphere, this type of lifestyle, on top of sexual health, things like that. But as far as you and your partner and your dynamic, communication is
mhm.
so important. And we can harp on that forever.
Oh,
But
yeah, and do your research too. Don't listen, do some research on it,
look at the
understand.
good, the bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was actually just gonna say, do your research, and I'd suggest that both partners make a pros and cons list
mhm,
about
Hmm.
moving forward, and kind of,
yeah,
compare and contrast those and decide that can actually help you decide your boundaries, your rules, your dynamic, um, to start off with, and make everybody just a little bit more comfortable, maybe even ease some of those fears that we've talked about.
yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
So that actually leads us to another question that I found, very interesting. Someone asked us, is there anything that you reserve just for your partner? Like maybe your primary partner, maybe your quad partners.
Um, yeah, I mean, like, our anniversary's this month, and
Uh-huh.
we're doing Marie and I are doing just her and I dinner, to celebrate our anniversary like we do every year, or, just because we're a quad doesn't mean we do everything
Everything.
together.
Yeah.
We do our own vacations sometimes away from the quad, but just with our primaries.
Hmm.
But we're pretty well ingrained, like, our birthdays, yeah, I love celebrating birthdays with everyone,
Yeah.
and,
And
Yeah.
and I think when
um
it comes, down to like, when you're thinking about either romantic or sexual activities, definitively there are things that I would do with Charlie, Ray, and Nicole that I would not do with other people. And again, that comes down to a trust issue. It's a
yes.
Yeah.
trust, a level of comfortability. I know that these three people
Have
will
your well
protect
being.
me
Yeah.
Yes.
and think about my, physical and emotional, health, and that they'll constantly be gauging my level of comfort with something, especially if I'm trying something new. Um, and I think that that's, but there's plenty of things that I would not do with somebody that other than these 3.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Ray and I went, we had our anniversary alone. Um, I mean, we still talk to the 2 of you every once in a while, but it was about us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
We're reminding, your anniversary, some people look at it like, "Oh, just another day of the year." But whenever you're in a type of relationship like this, you have to make sure that you and your primary partner are number 1, and you have to make
Correct.
sure that that relationship is supported and nurtured on top of everything.
Mhm.
And then with the quad, you guys are our 2nd relationship, so we also have to nurture that, but and it's not I'm not even gonna say hierarchy because it's not, but I've been with Ray a lot longer than I've been with Marie and Charlie. Um, so we have more to talk about, me, Ray, like, this other relationship, just because you don't know everything,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we've been together long enough, it's like, I'll tell you my stories, but you were there for most of them.
Right, right, like I said before, I've been with you longer than I was with my parents. If there's something wrong, it's because you raised me wrong.
Yes, and you've
So
used that as an excuse before. "Should have
yeah.
raised me better then."
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to make sure that nurture your primary partner. And I think when people start getting into this type of lifestyle, they're excited about everything. And sometimes you forget to also nurture your primary partner. Like, hey, we're in this together. Yeah, I'm having this high of, men or women talking to me and telling me how beautiful or sexy I am. And like before, Ray has, he's learned a different style now, but he used to try to talk to me sexually, the way that other men were, and it's like, "Honey, it doesn't
Yeah.
really
So
work
there
Yeah.
for
isn't
me.
the
That's not our dynamic. It's
Yeah.
never been our dynamic." So you can't just switch it up and try the same that things that they're doing. Even yes, it excites me the way that they're doing it, and it coming from you because he's like, "Well, this is what they're saying. Why doesn't it work for me?" And it's because that's never been our dynamic.
Yes.
all that, there's no mystery to it. A lot when it comes down from others is there's a mystery of this and that. Yeah, you know me as well as I know myself, so there's no mystery there.
Right.
Sometimes more and better than I know my own self.
Fair enough
Absolutely.
statement.
Yeah. Like, like Maria said, "Don't do that. I know what you're thinking.
Don't do it.
Don't do it." "Well, how did you know what I was thinking?" "Well, we've been together X amount of years, so
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
your next move before you do."
Yeah, and I mean, I think Ray and I have been together a little more time
Yeah.
than Charlie and Marie, but actually our wedding anniversaries are only like 6 months apart.
Yeah.
And even that's even in years. So,
We've
yeah.
been together, what, 17 years?
17 years. Yeah.
And you guys have
Married
been
Yeah,
for
together
we're
f
going on yeah, we've gone like
21?
yeah, it was '05.
It was '04. Maybe it was '05, I don't
It was
know.
'05.
It They're
I got the
dates.
emails to prove it still.
I do too.
So, this brings us into a question that we've answered before, but we'll touch on it real quick again, and Ray has the best, advice on this, is how do you handle jealousy? We've had it multiple times, we get it asked almost at all events we go to, as a quad, as in the lifestyle, new to the lifestyle, single in the lifestyle. How do you handle that jealousy?
And I mean, jealousy is something that everyone is always going to deal with. It's one of those things, if you have no jealousy, then you're not caring at all.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So don't look at it as like a bad
No, it's
reaction.
actually a healthy emotion when handled properly.
Right. And that's just it handling it properly. And I guess kind of short and sweet with it. But what I do with it is I sit and think with it and figure out why am I jealous of that?
Yes.
Charlie and Nicole go and do something and I'm not able to go, why am why am I feeling jealous? Is it because I wanted to go to that show? Do I feel left out? And then you can process once you know why, and it's not, oh, I'm jealous of da 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 da. You can go, and talk to you guys about why and figure out what we can do about it or help me deal with and process that.
It's not really even dealing with it, but setting down and asking yourself, "Why am I jealous?" "Oh, well, because I wanted to go." But did we not invite you, or were you busy, or are you not really feeling jealous, you're just feeling kinda bummed because you didn't get to go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
left
Right.
out,
yeah,
Or
you
and
feel
yeah,
not that
feeling
you
FOMO,
were
like,
left
left out
out.
intentionally, but
yeah,
maybe it was something that you said, "Yeah, I can't, and because I have to do this instead," and then your plans fell through, and then you find yourself being a little jealous, and it's like, well, like Ray said, sit down, you think about it, "Why am I jealous? I feel left out, but
yeah,
why am I not there? I had other plans and they fell through." I mean, this is like
Yeah.
and at that point in time, it's like, yeah, it's almost down to nothing at this point because
Right. You
yeah,
understand the problem and you're not letting it just
fester.
escalate in your head.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I just thinking about that because there was one time that we were at the club with another couple, and the the other husband wasn't really showing me much attention. Ray being I don't even know how you wanna call it, but he's very, intuitive, I guess,
yes,
to the other person. He wasn't paying attention to me either because he was on a date with another woman. I
yeah,
was supposed to be on a date with another man, even though we were there together, and of course, this is before, we talked about, you know, how we were pretty new in the lifestyle. He was being very attentive to the other woman, and I was dancing alone very close to them because the husband, I don't know where he was. And Ray reached over and grabbed the other woman's hand and was holding her hand. And it, like, literally sent me through the roof, and, of course, I didn't sit there and think why it made me feel jealous, but then going back to it, it was like, the date that I was on, I wasn't getting any kind of attention. I literally felt like a third wheel at that point, but I didn't have the knowledge or the experience to realize, "This is what's going on, this is why I'm feeling this way. I need to talk to Ray about that." Maybe even talk to the other woman about that. Talk to the guy about it. "Hey, you're supposed to be on a date with me. Where are you?" So just being able to sit down and talk to yourself, or not really talk to yourself, but kinda work it out in your head
mhm,
is very important. You have to not have that block where you're like, "Well, there's nothing wrong with me. They did something wrong."
yeah,
Figure out why you're jealous, like Ray says.
mhm,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've certainly gone through our fair share of jealous instances. One thing that Charlie and I have done um is, if we're out um and we're engaging with other people and one of us starts to become jealous, we will take the other person's hand and say, "Can you come back to me for a moment?" And we have a little discussion. Lots of times I will, when I've done it, I've thought why I'm feeling jealous, and I'll just simply say, I'm feeling jealous, and it's not anything that you did wrong, but this is what's going on with me right now, and I just needed a moment of security to know
yeah,
We're still
we're
good.
still here, we're still
Yeah.
us, and let him go on his way and I go on mine. But, we had an instance when we were still okay with being involved with singles and, I would encourage Charlie to go out with this person, but I started becoming jealous. Not because I wanted to go with them and not because I felt left out, but I began to become concerned. My concerns were, and once, as Ray has taught us, once I sat down and really asked myself why I was jealous, when I realized it wasn't FOMO or anything like that, I realized that I was very concerned about her intentions towards my partner. And once I was able to
articulate that to him.
articulate that, it actually got him thinking and starting to see some of the same things that I saw.
Yeah,
Mhm.
But, I had tried a couple of different times, um, and it wasn't until I sat down with myself and said, "You need to understand why you're jealous, Dawn. You can't just
yeah,
display it." Sorry.
no, you're good.
Can you edit that out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
Jealousy is big.
yeah, and like I
It's
said,
not even jealousy sometimes, it's fear, but it comes out
it's
as
fear,
Yeah,
jealousy.
yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that was mine, honestly, in the circumstances I described, but I was afraid.
And a lot of people in this lifestyle have that fear, like I've said before, that your partner's gonna go into this and find someone
Mhm.
better for them or find someone that can do things that you can't do. And you know what? That's great if they find something that you can't do or won't do because now you don't have to push yourself to do it, of course. Doesn't mean that
Right,
they're looking to change their situation.
and I think that comes down to another question that we got asked, what are the biggest myths? And the question was about what's the biggest myths about sex? But we can take that one step further and say, what are the biggest myths about the lifestyle? And I think Marie hit it on the head when we were talking about this earlier was that we sleep with anybody.
No, that was Nicole.
Oh, was that
No, that
Nicole?
was
Yeah, that was
yeah.
Nicole.
Okay.
So Ray and I were at the bar, and it sounds like we go to the bar a lot. We really don't, but a lot of conversations come up from the bar. But anyway, I digress. We were at the bar. I saw a young man sitting alone in a booth, and you could just tell that he just was not having a
Yeah.
great day. And you know me, I'm the social butterfly. I want to fix people. Unfortunately, it's part of my DNA.
You're a mom, you're a
I'm a
healthcare
mom.
provider.
Yeah, it's just who I am. I always want to fix things, sometimes to my detriment, but anywho, so, I sat down and was talking to him, was like, "Hey, smile." And I look at people all the time. I'm like, "Hey, smile. You look better with a smile." Sometimes it pisses people off, but it is what it is. And he was telling me that, his ex of so many years had left him for someone else and because he had to go out of town to work and this and that. We sat there and talked probably for a good 30, 45 minutes. I don't know how it came about, but he wound up finding out that Ray and I were in the lifestyle, we were swingers, and he looked at me and he's like, "Well, you'll sleep with me, right? You'll sleep with anyone." And I'm like, "No, that's not how it works. It's not how
No.
it works at all. Just because I am open to having sex with other people does not mean I'll just have sex with anyone."
Yeah.
And it comes back to just because you're attracted to someone in a lifestyle doesn't mean that you're gonna have sex with them.
Yeah, and I think
Sure.
that's the difference between you hit the nail on the head with the keyword open. Just because I'm open to having sex with other people doesn't mean I am going to have sex with anyone.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. And I think that, can bring up one more question that we have here. What's a non-physical quality that instantly makes someone more attractive to you? Um,
Courtesy.
Understanding, cultured.
be able to hold a conversation and it be about something other than sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I might not be physically attracted to you to begin with, but because I had a conversation with you or I saw you being courteous and being open to things. It's like, wow, that makes me attracted to you. I mean, there's a lot of couples out there, like one of the other person in that relationship is extremely attractive, and some people don't find the other person attractive. They have a bald head, their nose isn't quite right, whatever. Doesn't mean that they were attracted to that person physically at first, but they got to know them and they were able to form that bond. It's like, a lot of people are like, "Well, how are they together?"
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Be able to have a conversation about something other than sex. Be interested in the other person. Find things that you have in common. Um,
And not fake interested.
yeah, and not fake interested. No, be again back to being genuine. You need to be
Yeah.
genuine.
Right, and I mean, having confidence and with conversation, you know, listen to not just to respond, but to understand what the other person is talking about,
Yeah.
and you can tell that really quick in a
Yeah,
conversation.
absolutely, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
as far as myths about sex, just sex in general,
The sex in general.
I think one of the ones that, and I think this comes up when you first uh, start doing your research on E&M, polyamory, swinging. So you have to build a profile for most clubs. Well, for clubs you do, not necessarily for house parties and things like that. But for clubs, if you're on any of the apps in which you're looking for other partners,
Kinda like a dating website.
yeah, like a dating website, you're asked to build a profile, and you will be asked your sexuality. Um, and I did a lot of research when we were going in this because it was difficult for me to actually identify my sexuality. I had always considered myself straight. Um, but I was curious about women, and I found out that it's not just heterosexual, bisexual, or homosexual. When it comes down to being bisexual, there are a lot of other types of things involved there. You can be bicurious, meaning you're curious about being with same sex. Bicomfortable, meaning you're comfortable with that act, going on around you. Bisituational may mean, that you may engage based on the situation with someone of the same sex,
How you're
how
feeling,
you're
but, you know.
feeling,
Mhm.
your attractedness to that particular person. Um, but in general, bisexual means, though, that you are equally interested, both romantically and sexually, to both sexes. So reason I'm saying this is because I just want everybody to understand that just because two guys might have some sort of sexual, you know,
Contact.
contact, interaction, or even two women, does not mean that they are bisexual. Doesn't mean that's not what that means. And so, and it definitely doesn't mean that they're homosexual. So
Yeah.
everybody just needs to really educate themselves about that because, especially for the guys, it can be quite taboo. And to be open about their level of comfort with the other sex. And I think that drives some couples or people away if um
Yeah,
yeah.
and even if they are, um, also into men, they may, of course or not of course, but they may be more interested in women, but they're okay playing with other
Right,
men,
right.
and if that's not for you, keep your mouth shut,
Yeah, keep your mouth shut.
because
Don't
if it's not hurting you.
yeah. And it doesn't mean that they're chasing you down. It's the same thing with women. That, it doesn't mean that this other woman's chasing you down, or, she's gonna chase you down because she's interested in other women. If that's not
Right.
your preference, it's just not your preference. Just state it, and that doesn't mean you guys can't be friends.
Right, and honestly, you don't have to state it. If it's not something that you're into, I guarantee you that other person can get that vibe from you, or even if they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, I wanna do this." "No, I'm good. I'm that's not really my dynamic. It's not something that I'm into, but, hey, we can have a drink."
Yeah.
Um, I I overheard someone say one time, "Oh, you're not into other men, are you? Because if you are, I want nothing to do with you." It was actually another woman that said that, and a couple other people heard that, and you can tell that it really bothered them. Not because that they were also into men, because this lifestyle is about being open and
Accepting.
understanding, accepting, so if that's not what you're into,
Keep your
that's
mouth shut.
fine.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
just keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
great.
if it's something that somebody's pushing themselves on you, that's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, great discussion.
Yeah,
Good Q&A. Yeah, these are some good
absolutely.
questions. Thanks everyone for submitting them and all our friends who've brought them up over the last couple times we've hung out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And
definitely appreciate it.
we have to finish off with what
Should
shit
Should
swingers
swingers
say.
say,
Swing
should
is
And
swingers
I'm
say?
just gonna go ahead and throw one in here because y'all didn't hear me, but a little while ago, Ray said, "Well, it's only 3:30 in the afternoon, folks." We just finished breakfast a little while ago, and as I was walking up the stairs, I said, "Shit swingers say."
"Party
All
hard."
right. Thank you for listening today. And check out our website at thepolyquadlife.com for more information. And you can always follow us on our Facebook page. And remember, email us those questions at info@thepolyquadlife.com. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
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 Where swinging fun meets love, hearts entwine.